actually read my poem, I wanted to show you what I'm filming in front of. This is Ball's Popular Guide to the Heavens, which was one of the first star kind of maps that was ever made. This is actually a parchment map that was a gift, and it's hanging on my wall, which is why I'm kind of in an awkward spot, but I couldn't think of anything better to film in front of than something that has the stars, and it's referred to as a guide to the heavens, and you can see the things behind me. I'm focusing mostly on the marriage between science and math and religion. So the poem I chose to read was Number 2 by Samuel Bowden, on the new method of treating physics from 1726. So I'll just go ahead and get started. Sages now trust to fairy scenes no more, nor venture farther than they see the shore. They build on sense, then reason from the effect, on well-established truths their schemes erect. By these some new phenomena explain, and light divine in every process gain. Such was the path immortal Newton trod. He formed the wondrous plan, then marked the road. Led by this clue he traveled o'er the sky, and marshaled all the shining worlds on high. Pursued the comets where they farthest run, and brought them back, obsequious to the sun. Mature in thought, you Newton's laws reduce to nobler ends and more important use. You show how heavenly orbs affect our frame, and raise or sink by turns the vital flame. How moons alternate in their changing sphere, impress their force and agitate the air. How without successive tides advanced, while Cynthia pale pursues her silent dance. So does the refluent blood her influence know, and tides within roll high or creep on slow. So that is the poem, and at first hearing it, obviously he uses a lot of Old English, so that's why if I mispronounced anything, I'm sorry. But so his first stanza, and right here I have the Jesus candle and this kind of zodiac globe to represent the mathematical part of it. Just gonna switch hands here. So in the first stanza, he is talking about sages now trust to fairy scenes no more. Now venture farther than they see the shore. They build on sense, then reason from the effect, on well-established truths. So what I got from this was that people can now build upon truths that explain things that before were unexplained. And in the next passage, I think is the most important to my whole idea of the marriage of religion and science. I believe that Samuel Bowden and a lot of people from this time, a lot of the poems that we read, saw Newton as sort of a prophet. It says, such was the path immortal Newton trod. He formed the wondrous plan and marked the road. Led by his clue, he traveled o'er the sky and marshaled all the shining worlds on high. Pursued the comets where they farthest run and brought them back, obsequious to the sun. So it was God's plan for Newton to make these discoveries. God set the path and put Newton on it to find these and share them with the world and us. And the last stanza is explaining that Newton's laws and thoughts are mature, and he goes on to explain in his poem the practical outcomes that Professor Cassell had outlined for us as far as the rising of the tides and the planets and things like that, when he says, you show how heavenly orbs affect our frame and raise or sink by turns of the vital flame, how moons alternate in their changing sphere, impress their force and agitate the air, how as without successive tides advance, while Cynthia, which we read was the moon, pale pursues her silent dance. So I think the entire like worldview was changed from just believing in religion and things because they were, and it was a marriage of religion and math that God set Newton on the path to make these discoveries. And so science was introduced and math was introduced, but it's not the way we think of it today, where if you are strictly only believing in science, that you don't believe in religion. There was a strong marriage of the two back then, and that's why this star map is called a map to the heavens. They still believed that there was a heaven and that God himself had set Newton on this path to make these discoveries and share them with the rest of the world. So thank you guys for watching.